Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with the very first match of Spawn Point Championship Series 4. Super excited to be getting started out in the rookie division. Covering all the action tonight will be myself and joined as well by Nyah.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We have Eternal Big Chungus taking on BeaversUniverse Raine. So, two new teams up in this one. And there's a lot of information to tell behind the scenes with these teams. Eternal Big Chungus, they got two big names up on them, and especially a big captain that's leading them. Water, he's been a team captain since, I believe, the last couple of series of SPCS. SPCS 2, he led Eternal B-Drop Bears, and SPCS 3, he led Eternal B-Drop Bears to the grand final in the rookie division. So Water's been around with a 88.9% win rate as a team captain. So I'm kind of thinking that Eternal Big Chungus here against the Beavers, it's going to be kind of one-sided with the differential here with captains. But what do you gotta think about that one, honestly?
Sometimes having a really strong manager can definitely make all the difference. So Water having all of that experience. On top of that, Eternal Big Chungus does have some returning players to SPCS. So Dire Raven, definitely a name that everyone's going to be familiar with. She's been here in the rookie division, kind of a mainstay for a few seasons now. And then Churd also going to be a returning name here for Eternal Big Chungus. So not only does this team have that solid manager, but taking a look at these rosters, like I mentioned, a couple returning names over on Eternal Big Chungus.
Yeah, 100%. Eternal Big Chungus having Churt and Dire Raven. Those are going to be the two players to definitely watch out for here in this matchup. Taking a look at BeaversUniverse, though, take a look at that roster limit. 9 players over 5. That is absolutely insane. So there's going to be a lot of substitutions possibly happening here for BeaversUniverse. But Eternal Big Chungus, you only got 5 players. You got to be strategic with how you play. But as I said it, I think the two players that are going to be highlighted here are going to be Churt and Dire Raven due to their past experiences in SPCS, where both of the players have played in grand finals, one winning a grand final and one losing a grand final.
It's a lot of pressure, I think, riding on the back of Eternal Big Chungus here. BeaversUniverse, though, like you said, Nyah, this is a very healthy roster for this team. Having so many people to be able to swap kind of in and out, depending on what map and, of course, what hero bans come in, is going to be super, super important. So really hoping to see a whole lot of flexibility from this BeaversUniverse team, as we do know where we're going to be getting started out. It will, of course, be Control Center, and we're going to be heading to Lijiang Tower for the very first map of Series 4.
Lijiang Tower, this is a great dive composition map, and here we go. We got the new heroes up in the game, right? Mm-hmm. So Damina is going to get banned here immediately, as you also get to see another ban here up on Vendetta. So a DPS and a tank getting taken out for both Eternal Big Chungus and BeaversUniverse, but no targets up on the support line. I think if you are these rookie division players, we might just be seeing a Jetpack Cat combo. This is something that we kind of talked about before heading up into this. And if we get to see a highlight cinematic moment where we get to see Jetpack Cat carry a Cassidy and have a crazy high noon, that stuff could go absolutely incredible.
I really hope to see it. But of course, having Domina and Vendetta taken out of the very first map, these are two really heavy hitting bans. And this is going to be a 1st to 3 series here. So you have to be really careful as you go through the next maps in the series, because that will, of course, mean that those two heroes will be back on the field unless the other team does ban them out. So what we've been seeing in some of the upper levels of play is that when that Vendetta gets banned out, that's when you can sub in someone like the Venture, someone like the Reaper, somebody that's still going to have that high burst potential damage to go in on. Now, Domina has very much just appeared in the meta, but it does feel like she's really kind of taken over so far, Nyah. So seeing that removed, it's probably going to shift us back over to kind of what we were seeing before, some D.Va, some Sigma.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Raine, as of what I've seen already, but just playing Overwatch, Domina is such a strong tank hero to play up against. If you're playing support, DPS, or even tank, it's just a struggle to get Domina down. So I think it's a great ban here to start off this map 1 and this rookie division for tonight for both of the two teams. But here we go, Raine. We are in the map. We are ready to go. The time is ticking down. Let's get to see what Eternal Big Chungus and BeaversUniverse are going to be selecting here.
All right, it's going to be Night Market to start everything out. I feel like this would be a great place to maybe see some Jetpack Cat, but not being locked in just yet. I know that Dire Raven has a fantastic Lucio here, so looking like we might be ending up with a Lucio on both sides, which of course still could be really fun for some environmental kills here.
Yeah, you know, as a Lucio main myself, it's always fun playing up on Lijiang Tower as a Lucio to get some boops, right? But take a look at that. Churd and Skylaro swapping to the Symmetra. You're going to get to see a Sim TP right off the spawn. I do expect them to be swapping to another hero, and Skylaro staying the Sim here.
Okay, it is going to be the TP onto the point here for BeaversUniverse, and it's going to be First Blood as well. Not walking a little bit too far forward, trying to find that Maywell. Immediately is going to get punished out by Tsukiyomi, and that's going to be BeaversUniverse immediately just taking control of this point and taking control of this fight.
Yeah, this is really good here from BeaversUniverse. They are getting picks in the kill feed, but take a look at that. Skylaro getting Davian. So you don't have your main tank here for Eternal Big Chungus. You gotta be a little careful as this is still a beginning fight. No one has contested this point just yet, Raine. As you get to see Church just trying to position as much as he possibly can.
Oh, Nat's gonna fall. Skylaro all charged up on this Symmetra, and we're gonna have the DPS coming alive here for the side of BeaversUniverse. Tsukiyomi back into the fight now, so that is gonna be BeaversUniverse holding on to percentage of this point and getting a little bit further in the lead.
Yeah, BeaversUniverse, they're coming up on 1 ultimate. You'll get to see that Sim wall maybe aggressed here pretty early from Skylaro as they are running with that percentage marker. But Eternal Big Chungus, take a look at the damage that they have been inflicted on by BeaversUniverse. They gotta be careful here. The shatter is huge!
Oh my god, yep. That's a 5-person shatter right there, and all the cleanup is available courtesy of Yan as well. That's a great start here for BeaversUniverse.
Yeah, and just a great positioning ultimate there from BeaversUniverse. They still have these ultimates that are coming up. You're going to have that Kitsune Rush. You're trying to build up on the Reaper Blossom, and you still haven't used the wall for your Sim. But here goes the coalescence here from Eternal Big Chungus. Can they value up on this as Skylaro is using the Sim wall?
Yeah, Davion tried to walk forward there, ran out of Nemesis form though, and now the Photon Barrier is splitting this point, and now he's gonna commit this Kitsune Rush. A nice Blossom to go along with it. Yanspace takes out full supports from the backline of Eternal Big Chungus, and despite, you know, getting some trades out here, it does not seem like Eternal Big Chungus are gonna be able to get in. Yeah, team kill coming through for Beavers.
There's still a shot here, though. Raine, Eternal Big Chungus, they have Dire Raven the touch as the Lucio player. It all depends, though, if Lunar stays alive. Literally 1 HP, but they have the ultimates to do it. You're gonna get to see that Beat Matrix go in immediately.
It's just Ajax, unfortunately, for Dire Raven. She's not able to get that beat off, and overtime is just ticking away. Nat does have the Blizzard, but she's all alone on the point despite getting the ult off. It is the
Team kill here. BeaversUniverse taking Night Market 100% to 0.
You know, this is kind of something that I wasn't expecting to see. I kind of predicted Eternal Big Chungus to have the upper hand going up into this map, but you know, the caster curse is kind of real. BeaversUniverse, they are currently stomping Eternal Big Chungus after what we just got to see, that first map set up in our Lijiang. We're heading over to our secondary as BeaversUniverse, you get to take a look at the stat line. 0 deaths for both Skylaro and Marne. So it's going to be interesting to see up on how Eternal Big Chungus plays against this, as they gotta put in some more DPS value. Maybe Churd needs to position a little more, but here comes the Sim TPs from BeaversUniverse.
Okay, it is going to be Skylaro swapping off of that Symmetra here as we move into Control Center. The wall from Nyah has split off BeaversUniverse, but it's not going to be the follow-up there to really take any more damage as it's going to be Churd rotating around. Big Chungus are just trying to find their way into this point. They didn't want to win the matchup in the white room, but now Yan really taking some space, gets punished. The pin in is going to take down Churd. It's even numbers here, but it is BeaversUniverse that are able to get set up on the point first. As the point does unlock, Davion, that Nemesis form is going to fade away, and yep, that is going to be BeaversUniverse starting up the percentage here on Control Center.
Yeah, nice way to uphold that one. If you are BeaversUniverse, you're running with the percentage, as you just said, Raine, and they're coming up very close to that shatter. We know how dangerous that is from the last map set here up on Lijiang, as Eternal Big Chungus, they gotta be extremely careful whenever they're positioning this. Maybe, oh, the May wall, this is interesting.
Okay, and the shatter comes through. It does connect on to 3 here, and the follow-up is good for Beavers. And unfortunately, Big Chungus have just been sent back to the drawing board. Another team kill coming through here for BeaversUniverse.
Yeah, once again, we just got to see an incredible shatter there from BeaversUniverse, and now they still have Skylara's ultimate. They're coming up on that Kitsune rush. You could speed in that Cassidy High Noon, and I think that could be extremely dangerous here, but they gotta be aware of the Coalescence. Dire Raven getting an upper hand here against Skylara as Eternal is backing up Beavers.
Fantastic opening pick here for the Lucio of Eternal Big Chungus. Lunar with that Coalescence really pushing forward, making sure that Eternal Big Chungus are going to stay alive and stay healthy as they chase down some of these late kills. And finally, it feels like Eternal Big Chungus coming alive here, getting their first percentage on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and this is exactly what the Snorlax team needed. Maybe they were a little sleepy that first round of Lijiang, but here we go, right? They're going to have these ultimates ready to go. Blizzard up online. They're going to position this with a May wall. Maybe it will be big, but BeaversUniverse, they are positioned well with this.
Right, we did see the freeze go out over into Sukiyami, but the follow-up's just not quite there. Everybody's from Eternal Big Chungus falling very low. It is going to be Davion popping that Annihilation. Churd really following up on that damage that was committed from the Ramatra as well. So, you know, while you commit some ults here, at least Eternal Big Chungus able to still hold on to this choke point.
Yeah, and this is going to be really good as you get to see Churd still there with the Reaper Blossom up online. Dire Raven trying to build up that beat matrix as we get to see 88%. BeaversUniverse, though, if they want to go quick here to recap this Raine, they most definitely can because they're almost going to have that shatter. And as I said it before, it's going to be even more dangerous, but that beats.
Oh my gosh, fantastic beat from Margarine, and it does end up shutting down Churd here. The shatter comes through from Sukiyami. Dire Raven, the beat comes out, connects onto 4, doesn't keep Churd alive through that though, and Nat finding the kill onto Sukiyami. This is big here for Eternal Big Chungus to stay in this fight. You do end up losing Lunar though, so a lot of pressure now on Dire Raven to stay alive, and she does more than just stay alive, finds the kill onto the Cassidy here, and that is going to be a second one for Dire Raven in this fight. Eternal Big Chungus holding on here.
The Lucio is cooking here for Raven in the side of Eternal Big Chungus. No ultimates just yet up online for that squad, but take a look at BeaversUniverse. They could speed in that Cassidy, and that is the most dangerous thing that Eternal Big Chungus needs to be aware of here. Maybe they could get the touch. It's going to be extremely close.
Dire gets hacked up. She manages to stay alive through it, though. The pin, it connects on. Dire Raven just got sucked into that one, as now the overtime has been triggered. Beavers need to find some kills, and they're doing exactly that. The Ramatra and the Lucio down here for the side of Big Chungus. It's not looking good for them to try and stay in this fight, as Churd fighting for his life. Skylaro gonna pick up a 3K here, and BeaversUniverse flipping this back over just in time.
Yeah, Skylaro doing what a hit scan could do for BeaversUniverse. Coming up on another shatter. This one is going to be even more dangerous than the previous shatters, I expect. Kitsune Rush also almost up online here for BeaversUniverse. So if you are Eternal Big Chungus, you gotta play this very much aggressively here, because if you die, your fight's over, and you're gonna have to rely upon a Lucio touch.
Massive first pick here for Davion. Margarine is out here, but the Reinhardt gonna charge in, finds the pin onto Churd, and finds a shatter that hits onto 2 here. The Blizzard was committed from Nat, but It's not enough for Eternal Big Chungus to stay in this fight, and now approaching that 99%, somebody from the side of Big Chungus needs to trigger this overtime. It is going to be Lunar alive on the Moira, just enough to get that overtime going. Davion has swapped over onto the Wrecking Ball. First touch is going to come over from Churd here, who does walk in, finds that kill, but does get punished immediately. The EMP connects on to the Wrecking Ball. Davion back in this fight just momentarily. The spin to win not going to be activated here, and it's all falling apart for Eternal Big Chungus. That is going to be BeaversUniverse picking up the first map in the series.
Yeah, and you know, that's how the book starts. The page flips in BeaverUniverse. They are now leading this series 1-0 against Eternal Big Chungus, as this is pretty exciting. I personally thought that with the experience that Eternal Big Chungus had going up into the opponent BeaversUniverse, I thought that they were going to uphold him. But BeaversUniverse, with a 9-player roster, they are stacked, they are ready to go, and they have most proved it here in that map 1.
Yeah, impressive stuff from this BeaversUniverse team. Like you mentioned, Nyah, this is a newcomer team to SPCS. So excited to see these teams come in and, wow, come in with a bang here. Now, Eternal Big Chungus are going to have an opportunity to fight back, though, because they are going to be in control of the next map pick, at least.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting to see what they could pick here. Obviously, we just got to play our control, but let's take a look at that map pool. We are up in week 1, an excellent week 1, I would have to say. But we got Escort, Flashpoint, Hybrid, and Push, and just take a look at all those fantastic maps that we have. If you want to go quick, this is your moment to do it. I think Eternal has the best bet for going quick with aggression styles, because as we got to see up on Lijiang, they were trying to play a aggressive composition.
Yeah, definitely looking to kind of speed through here. Unfortunately, they were kind of met up against a really hard wall that was Tsukuyomi on that Reinhardt here, so you could definitely take that into account as you head into your map number 2. Are you anticipating that this team is going to be sticking with this Reinhardt? It's a little hard to kind of make those judgments, though, because like we mentioned, there are 9 players on the BeaversUniverse team.
Yeah, 9 players. It's an absolutely deadly number against 5, right? You're outnumbered there. But I think the thing that's cool about those 9 players is that, as I said, you could kind of substitute those players out and kind of confuse your opponent if you really wanted to. But I think it's going to be very crucial here, depicting up on this map decision. You know what? I just thought about something, Raine. With all the players that are up on that roster, you got 9, right? And you got all these different map modes. What if those other players play different modes?
Yep, it's definitely a good idea to have players that kind of just specialize onto very specific modes, because that'll also allow your scrims to be a little bit more organized here, as we do know where we're going to map number 2 at least, and Big Chungus have opted to take us to the escort map of Circuit Royale.
You know, we absolutely love to get to see some Monaco, some Circuit Royale. You know, I kind of favor this map up in comp every now and then, but is it a good Lucio map? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I get flamed for playing Lucio there, but yeah, Circuit Royale, this is going to be pretty dive heavy, I would have to be saying here. Maybe we're going to be able to get to see some poke compositions, or just some... You know what? No. I think we're going to get dive and poke. Dive and poke are going to be the main 2 here. But Jetpack Cat being banned, same with the Sim. Very interesting here.
Ooh, okay, yeah, Jetpack Cat suffering at the hands of the highest ban rate, both in comp and I guess here in the circuit as well. The Sim ban coming through, very interesting for me. Now, this is Eternal Big Chungus that banned out the Symmetra as well. I was expecting more to see BeaversUniverse go for a Sim ban where you're running that Reinhardt. You really want to not enable a DPS that is going to be able to just feed charge off of your shield here, but with Eternal Big Chungus taking the Sim off the map, and it's really interesting to me about what are they looking to play here for Circuit Royale.
Well, you still have that tank pick, right? They banned Domina for Lijiang that first map, right? So you still got Domina there to play for this Circuit Royale, and I think that's going to be a big strength for these two teams. But you could also get to see some dive comps, right? Maybe we'll be able to get to see some diva played here from both of the two. But it's a different player, roster. You got a different outnumbered team with 9 against 5. So to me, it's going to be super confusing depending upon what BeaversUniverse is going to be doing. But I think Eternal Big Chungus, they're just going to stay with the flow, honestly.
Yeah, let's see what they're going to opt for. Circuit Royale, of course, very favored towards your DPS heroes. It's a lot of pressure on your DPS to really be able to hit the shots here as we head into this map that has these really long sight lines. This is where we used to get to see a whole lot of Widow Hanzo. And as I say that, Eternal Big Chungus may be looking to channel that a little bit. They are going to be on the defense here, Nyah. So this is the comp that they're going to start with, at least for the first point.
Crazy how we haven't gotten to see Domina just yet here up in this one. But you know what? It's the rookie division. It's the rookie division, guys. Eternal Big Chungus. I gotta say, this composition is pretty stacked. You got the Bap, Ilari up in the back. You also got the Hanzo and Widowmaker for sightlines. And you have Sigma for some poke. But taking a look at BeaversUniverse, they are also stacked. They have the new hero. They have Venture. They got the Sig. And they're playing a Zenyatta. So this is going to be a composition used for Discords.
Gonna have to work around those discords from Margarine. Yeah, Yanspace gonna show us the M right here. Skylaro, he's gonna move over onto the Widowmaker, so not gonna opt to move on the Venture here. So gonna be looking at this matchup of the Nat versus Skylaro here. Grapple in, doesn't hit the headshot. Good little chunk of body damage there, but that's not gonna be enough to take down that Hanzo here. As there's the headshot that was being looked for. Skylaro with the first, finds a second headshot as well. Going to pick up a third. Skylaro just cannot be stopped. This Widowmaker has absolutely opened up this map for BeaversUniverse.
Skylaro, wow, what a player and performer that BeaversUniverse has, right? And they just keep on cooking here. Then I would have to say is we are having a pause here, so a little bit of technical difficulties. But we are back here up on the broadcasting desk, Raine. Let's talk about the new heroes, right? We got 5 new heroes. Out of those 5 new heroes, who do you kind of hate the most?
Oh no. Okay, just playstyle wise, okay, I love her design, but Jetpack Cat is on my number 1, gets banned every single map. I am one of the Jetpack Cat banners, I fear. I love the cat, super cute, and like when I have one on my team, it's great, but as a tank to just be like, yoinked, thrown off the map, I can't handle that. So unfortunately, Jetpack Cat is my most hated, but I love the design, very cute.
Yeah, I gotta totally agree with you there. Playing against a Jetpack Cat is absolutely deadly. Like how I said, if you ultimate combo that with Jetpack Cat's ultimate, and if you use like an ultimate like Soldier Visor, or you have the Sojourn or the High Noon, that is absolutely deadly, and that could get a lot of kills up in the kill feed. Now, you know what else is kind of bad about Jetpack Cat is you can get thrown off the map. And that's a scary thing for anyone up in the lobby, right?
Yeah, the catnapped ultimate is pretty terrifying, so I do ban out the cat a lot. Domina, I am quite a fan of. I will say I have been playing her consistently in comp unless she gets banned out, which does happen quite frequently. But I think that she has really added kind of a depth to the tank roster that has been maybe kind of lacking a little bit. It's really fun to have a tank that is utility based, but not a dive comp, right? So like a Hazard is a very utility focused tank, but it's very mobility engaged as well, whereas Domina, it's really, really cool to be able to work through these cycles of your cooldowns and not have to just, dive in onto the front line. So I think that we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more Domina being played. Maybe not here in the rookie division, but definitely keep your eyes out for the higher divisions and for the pro leagues, because I definitely think she's a meta-changing hero.
Yeah, with tonight's matchup, as we've already gotten to see 2 of the new heroes kind of get banned, But, well, you know what? We're not even going to talk about it. We're back up into the game. Yeah, Eternal Big Chungus losing a player there. You obviously have Sigma down, but here we go. You get this push here for BeaversUniverse, and Skyloro, just a dominant player already in this one. They're proving something here for Beavers.
Gonna be the payload, picking up first point with a pretty darn good time bank here, more than 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And Eternal Chungus are looking to push up and try and take an early fight at this corner here. You don't necessarily have the angles to work with that you'd maybe love to have for your Hanzo and your Widow, but nonetheless gonna push forward here. It's all about getting that poke damage in. Not going to be the first one to fall here from Eternal Big Chungus. And now you need to think about, are you going to be able to get a trade right away, or is it going to be the disengage here? And it looks like Big Chungus are going to opt for the disengage.
Yeah, Big Chungus, they don't have an ultimate just yet. They are getting backed up here by BeaversUniverse. Skyloro has sights online, ready to go whenever they need to use it. As I like what BeaversUniverse are doing, right? They're playing steady, they're trying to read their opponent, and if you're Eternal, you just kinda gotta upstep this with tempo as you get to see the damage come out there up onto the map of BeaversUniverse, but it's dangerous here. BeaversUniverse have ultimates. They could go immediately here.
Right, and now that lamp has been forced out. Lunar doesn't have it. Yeah, that's going to be the trigger button. Tsugumi is going to use that Gravitic Flux, connects onto 2. Doesn't find any final blows, but it does a big chunk of damage, and it puts Nat right in Skylaro's sights. That Widowmaker from BeaversUniverse absolutely been popping off here, and it just does not look like BeaversUniverse are going to be stopped here on second point.
Yeah, this is kind of a one-sided circuit royale by far. Oh, just disgusting there. A nasty headshot there from Skyloro up onto Nat. But here we go, with just so much time in the time bank for BeaversUniverse. But as well, if you are Eternal Big Chungus, that's a time bank that you need to hold, right? So you got the ultimates to do it, Raine, but if we're looking at how they've been playing, it's going to be a very much of a struggle and definitely an uphill battle.
Sights committed here from Nat, at least trying to make some space for Big Chungus, trying to find an angle as well. Has spotted out the Ashe. There's the headshot. Ooh, gonna have a headshot right in return though. Margarine immediately getting a little bit of revenge for his Ashe, and the Dragons are met with a Transcendence here, so BeaversUniverse not going to lose another member in this fight just yet. There's that lamp that's come out once again, and there's Davion pulling out the Gravitic Flux, catch the Zenyatta, and Margarine is going to fall for that. Unfortunately, the lamp from Nahi on the low ground there. Ooh, the window has been committed here, and Davion just able to get around that corner. Somehow Churd going to be able to get through that as well, and that's a nice disengage from Eternal Big Chungus, but BeaversUniverse still pushing this cart forward, and now Skylaro set up back on this high ground. It's going to be so hard to put pressure out onto this Ashe. We do have Emray ready to go here. Ooh. Window committed. Lunar going to just force the same thing from BeaversUniverse, as actually the kills are coming through here, not starting off the kill, and yeah, BeaversUniverse are going to have to do more than just a little disengage now.
Yeah, very interesting, as Eternal Big Chungus, they are controlling BeaversUniverse right now, and let's just take a look at this next fight, right? Eternal Big Chungus, they're gonna be kind of set here. They have this Transcendence ready to go, and that's gonna be a great savior, but with Nat picking the Zenyatta, you're gonna be down a player, and BeaversUniverse, you're gonna have to play a little smart here. Maybe you could still be aggressive, as they will be.
All right, the Gravitic Flux is in, but it gets absolutely canceled out there. The headshots coming through from Churd, and that's just absolutely shut down the one ultimate that BeaversUniverse was really looking to commit into this fight, and that's going to force them to back out and maybe make a little adjustment.
Yeah, BeaversUniverse still ready to go. They got a plentiful time here, Raine. So if they want to aggress at any moment, they most definitely can. Eternal Big Chungus, though, they have been holding BeaversUniverse pretty well right now. It's been perfect, but it's going to be a struggle here maybe in these last couple minutes, as the pressure is going to be even more onto their backs.
You can see that BeaversUniverse is rotating around the high ground here. It is going to be Nat pulling out the sights here. She doesn't have another Widow to put pressure on her, and I really think that's helping her shine here, as Yanspace is going to be the first one to fall here. Had that override protocol ready to go, but just did not have the space to pull it out here, and BeaversUniverse are forced once again into a waiting game.
Yeah, 4 ultimates against 3 right now. The 4th coming up on BeaversUniverse. The bomb out here with the Transcendence, but that... Whoa, that's so crazy. Chert able to get 1. So it's a 5v4 scenario as Nat is able to also take out Skylaro. So Eternal Big Chungus, they are up in numbers here, Raine.
Ooh, and it's going to be committing an ultimate as well to make sure that they can close this fight out. Martin does end up taking out Nat with a headshot, so now you don't have that Widow putting pressure on you if you're BeaversUniverse, but you do still have the Hanzo that has the headshot, so that is going to be Nyah sent back to the spawn. BeaversUniverse only have the Zenyatta for healing, but they do have this override protocol pulled out. Ooh, actually hits the Sigma shield there, so not going to find that one big shot that you were looking for. Gets hit with the rock courtesy of Davion, but everybody from Big Chungus is so low here. It is going to be the amplification matrix committed here from Lunar, and that is not only going to be able to buy time here for Big Chungus, but also going to be able to heal everybody up.
Yeah, so the best and smart decision here that Eternal Big Chungus could do is just play smart against BeaversUniverse. They don't have any ultimates up online that I'm seeing at the moment, but take a look at that. The positioning is very much well. Skylaro is able to finish out Chert, and BeaversUniverse, they are up here in numbers as they also get the hack up onto the Sig, so pressure is getting most put up onto Eternal.
Oh, and yeah, the angle's being controlled here as well. Skylaro on the Cassidy gonna move over. Tsukiyami falling so low. Does manage to stay alive, though. The support really coming in strong here for that Reinhardt. Nat, though, gonna pick up the kill onto both DPS, but somebody from Eternal Big Chungus does need to drop onto this point, and against a Reinhardt, there's not much a lone Widowmaker can do, and that is gonna be BeaversUniverse completing Circuit Royale.
Yeah, and this is good. They cap with 37 seconds. But something that worries me is they capped that secondary with 5 more. So Eternal Big Chungus, if they really want to push this one all the way and kind of do the same thing where you get a lot of time passing that secondary going up into the 3rd, you can most definitely do it. But the pressure that BeaversUniverse put on the attack of against Eternal Big Chungus, it's crazy to tell, but taking a look at the stats, you could see the numbers, right?
True, there are so many limbs for the side of BeaversUniverse. Eternal Big Chungus, it felt like the fights that they were winning were calculated and clean, but they had to kind of commit multiple ults in, right? We were seeing Church use the dragons in combo with other ones, other ultimates, even the Transcendence coming in at the same time. So I felt like BeaversUniverse doing a little bit better of a job kind of finding those opening picks on most of these fights. And that's why we're seeing those higher limbs.
Yeah, just a little bit of the ducky floaty stare there from our Prod. Thank you, Prod. Thank you, everyone that has put up the work for getting Series 4 started. And here we go. We are once back up onto Circuit Royale as Nat is back up on Widowmaker. And that should be extremely dangerous because BeaversUniverse, they don't have a Widow to match it as Nat is able to get a crazy pick.
Yeah, that's exactly it. No Widow to match here, so Nat is not going to feel as much pressure here. Yes, Yan space on the Hanzo can definitely get some headshots of his own to work with here, but just the presence of that Widow is, ooh, it's a jump into the air here from the side of Margarine. Somehow the BAP is alive, very low though, and you can see that Davion is also putting a lot of pressure over on to that support. And there's going to be a lot of space controlled here by Eternal Big Chungus walking forward, but the reinforcements have arrived here for BeaversUniverse and trying to find an opening pick here. There's also no Zenyatta on the side of BeaversUniverse here, so Dire Raven really looking to make the best of these discords. All right, it's going to be a trade from each side. Nat finding another headshot here, but it is going to be BeaversUniverse coming out better on the side of the numbers here. Nat with a pretty strong angle and a pretty good headshot. Yanspace is going to end up taking her down though, and that's going to be enough here for BeaversUniverse to stabilize.
Yeah, in a nice little flip of comp rotation, right? We got to see BeaversUniverse run the Zenyatta in that last round here of Circuit Royale. But I gotta say, Eternal Big Chungus, they're working well because they just got the pick up onto Yan. So they're down here a number player for BeaversUniverse as the pressure is still getting put onto BeaversUniverse. Davion getting taken out here.
Oh yeah, Davion's gonna fall there, and now you don't have your tank for the side of Eternal Big Chungus. We do have at least a Hanzo ult to work with here. Churd's not going to end up committing it, though, with Nat falling as well. It's back to the drawing board for Eternal Big Chungus.
Eternal Big Chungus, they are down Nat here, though. But something to tell is that Churd is ready to go with the ultimate. We know what Churd could do, right? The win rate is very much high detail for Eternal. As they just gotta try something here. They got these numbers against as Churd going with the Hanzo ults, but doesn't get much.
Ooh, it creates a split here. Tsukiyomi, actually does end up falling courtesy of that Discord play at Yan's base. Gonna get the better of the Dragon duel here. Does end up falling in the end, though, and 2 members alive from Eternal Big Chungus. Although, a big ult use there from the side of BeaversUniverse, they're not gonna have the players to contest this cap.
Yeah, Eternal Big Chungus able to get this one here with 350 up on the clock. Nat just trying to grapple up, maybe get a crazy shot up in, but it's going to get blocked here by the Sigma shield. So BeaversUniverse playing this one extremely smart. 2 ultimates ready to go. 3, actually. Skylaro popping the Bob ult. That's going to be out here, and it's going to pressure on Eternal Big Chungus as the damage that's getting taken is extremely a dangerous number, as Eternal Big Chungus needs to be careful here, Raine.
Yeah, they have at least found this opening pick onto Margarine here. The Baptiste out of the mix here for BeaversUniverse. Not only is the Amplification Matrix gone, but that lamp is gone as well. Davion gonna find Jan's space, and Churd looking for one as well. The numbers really coming through here for Eternal Big Chungus to just keep pushing this payload forward. Just need to, get somebody on the payload. There we go.
Yeah, and this is great, right? You now have someone up on the payload, like how you said, right? But take a look at that, Skylaro. It's going to be a Widow duel now, and I think Skylaro knows this kind of tempo that Eternal Big Chungus are trying to put up here. They want to try and match the DPS damage. The Kitsune Rush is out, and the stun is huge.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Tsukiyomi just absolutely gets obliterated there. Now, we do have the sights available. Nat, though, not going to be able to find the better of Skylaro. Churd is going to get the revenge for her, though, and that is going to be the second checkpoint picked up here. Eternal Big Chungus with more than 4 minutes in the bank, rolling into third.
This is what I like to see here from the Pokemon Icon team. Eternal Big Chungus, they are ready to go, and they are kind of set ready. They got that Transcendence up online, they got the Dragons online, and they also have this ultimate coming up here for Sigma. So I gotta say, they are good against only 1 to 2 ultimates that BeaversUniverse has, but a little bit of a confusion play here as Yon's able to use the Hanzo drag, but take a look at that chart.
Oh my gosh, the Amplification Matrix comes in from Margarine, and it's met with this Dragon Strike. Now, the Transcendence not quite able to keep Churd alive through that, and now BeaversUniverse really coming up with the numbers here. Tsukiyomi very, very low on the Reinhardt, but there's not a whole lot of healing. Now there is no healing on the side of Eternal Big Chungus, so that's going to be the cleanup here for BeaversUniverse.
Yeah, crazy numbers here in the kill feed that BeaversUniverse, as you said, they cleaned them up. Eternal Big Chungus, they need the reset. They only got 1 ultimate online by this far, as they gotta play this extremely careful, right? If they overextend this fight, it's gonna cost more time in their time bank, and that's something that you don't want happening. You want to cap as much more time than the other opponent here up on Circuit Royale, and I think that's something that's their playbooks are trying to go for here. BeaversUniverse, though, they are ready to go almost with Skylaro's ultimate. We know how dangerous that is. If that could hit onto Eternal, that could get extremely deadly.
We are going to have that up on this high ground here, really taking an angle against BeaversUniverse. That Amplification Matrix from Lure was committed, but BeaversUniverse did a good job kiting out of it. Now, though, Amplification Matrix down. That has been forced off the high ground. Churd, though, find that headshot kill onto Tsukiyomi. No Reinhardt here means a whole lacking of presence on the point. The Deadeye and the Dragon Strikes come out. Dragon Strike is going to be good for 1. Trades coming through, but Dire Raven Churd still alive and kicking on this point. Churd with another kill. The little jump fade away onto the Kiriko. That Reinhardt getting hit up with that Discord Orb. Tsukiyomi is not long for this world, and it is looking like Eternal Big Chungus on the back of Churd are going to be able to slide this payload in and finish with a little bit more time. That being said, though, the Kitsune Rush does get out here. Naki will be able to find that, but there's an overclock to meet you, and yeah, that is going to be the completion here for Eternal Big Chungus.
Hey, and you know what? Maybe Churd was showing up with that 62.5 100% win rate there up in that last push there on Eternal Big Chungus. Churd as a player, I mean, just to highlight him, absolutely phenomenal. He's been around in the SPCS scene since Series 1 through 2, skipping out Series 3 and now back up in Series 4. So there's a lot of changes for Churd, and he's fundamentally updated himself here up in the Circuit Royale. Take a look at that updating number stat line. 22 elims, 21 crazy elimination numbers, less deaths. I think they're cooking.
Definitely feels like Eternal Big Chungus are finding their footing here. You know, Lijiang Tower looked a little bit rough, but moved themselves over onto this poke composition, and it seems to be working out for them for sure. It looks like they are going to be opting to stick with this same composition on the defense as we head into these overtime rounds as well.
Yeah, overtime, it's going to get even more tense here, but something to say about Eternal Big Chungus is that they have an extra 54 seconds against that 1 minute that BeaversUniverse has. Take a look at these team compositions. The only difference is the supports, and yeah, I mean, that's the only difference, right? But yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Right, Nyah looking for the shot, finds the headshot onto the Sigma. A little bit too much HP to send him back to the spawn just yet, but courtesy of this Sonic arrow, the Widow Hanzo duo, really, really nice because you have that utility. It is going to be on space taken out first here. Dire Raven, so dangerous on that Zenyatta. You charge up those right clicks and you just let them loose. Finding the headshot here. 30 seconds on the clock. BeaversUniverse still looking to try and rotate themselves up onto this high ground. Gonspace does swap over onto the Sombra. Here's a little bit something different, but as this time kind of whittles away here, you really want to be the first team to find the pick, and it is going to be Treeds coming through here. No, actually 2 falling on the side of Eternal Big Chungus here. That's going to be them just forced to back up and give some space for free over to BeaversUniverse.
Yeah, and this is good space for BeaversUniverse to capitalize up on here against Eternal Big Chungus. The overtime has officially started in Circuit Royale for both of these two teams. Eternal Big Chungus, though, take a look at that big hack up on to the Sigma of BeaversUniverse. That could be crucial as the Zenyatta is cooking.
Oh my gosh, Margarine finding his way on to this leaderboard, or this elim feed as well, as that is going to be the checkpoint collected here. BeaversUniverse making a fantastic run with the little time that they did have.
Yep, and here we go. It's still gonna keep on continuing here, Raine, as they gotta play extremely smart. Skylaro swapping up onto the Cassidy. Now it's a Cass Sombra DPS lineup, and they're ready to go with the tank ultimate up online. BeaversUniverse, they gotta play extremely careful here. Maybe a little overextended. Great shield usage there from Beavers. Eternal Big Chungus, though, they are not trying to let this happen to themselves.
Cryptic Flux in, connects onto 2. The lamp will keep Looter alive just barely here. Davion still alive as well momentarily. Finds a nice stun with that rock, and that's going to be enough to push BeaversUniverse back. 43.96 meters, as far as they will get in that overtime push.
Yeah, and that's a really good push here for BeaversUniverse to be under numbers here for time, as now you're heading up against Eternal with 1:54, so a little extra time in their bound limit here, but let's take a look at the stat numbers again. We kind of know them already, but Eternal Big Chungus, they took out BeaversUniverse there, and in the last push there up in that overtime, they couldn't pass that hill, and now if you're BeaversUniverse, you gotta defend this one extremely well. If you want to have another point up onto your board, you most definitely can in this series, but Eternal Big Chungus, this is a most due moments for you as you can neutralize this series scoreline.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? You want to be able to tie us up 1-1 here. This is, of course, the map pick of Eternal Big Chungus as well. So you really do want to be able to come out swinging the hardest on the maps that you select. Looks like it's going to be Lunar on the BAP here instead of that Iari. Did seem like those amplification matrices were very, very impactful for both of these teams here, as BeaversUniverse is not going to be over on that Baptiste. It is going to be Nyah back over on the Kiriko here. And Janspace actually starting out on the Sombra on defense too.
Very interesting. Maybe they're going to try and work for an EMP usage, but I like the way that they're still using this Kiriko. You could still value up in Kitsune Rush in your cleanse, but as well this Discord of Zenyatta, right? So they got to play this extremely carefully here because you're running double flex. You don't have a main support, and that's going to be extremely dangerous here with the less amount of heals.
Yeah, and Tsukiyomi really did just experience that. The Sigma gonna get exploded there. Now, Space did find a trade onto Nat, but Churn really coming alive here for Eternal Big Chungus. Now we are gonna have Tsukiyomi swap over onto the Reinhardt here, so that might make a difference here as we get closer and closer to that checkpoint.
Yeah, the Tsukiyomi looking good here so far up in the roster of BeaversUniverse just throughout this matchup so far. But Eternal Big Chungus, just look at the push that they valued against BeaverUniverse here in this overtime. That's crazy work.
Nat on a Sombra of her own finds the hack on a Tsukiyomi, and that's enough to just take down the Reinhardt. Unfortunately for Tsukiyomi, really seems to be getting targeted out here at the start of these fights. Eternal Big Chungus would love to get another stagger kill here, but does not seem it's meant to be.
Yep, so Eternal Big Chungus, they're still pushing this one, and they still have time, Raine. The overtime has not ticked just yet, as they got time for themselves. Maybe they could position a ultimate that is coming up. But take a look at that, BeaversUniverse. They have the upper hand. They're trying to hold this ramp away here. It's going to be extremely close to see what happens.
Right, it's again a hack onto the Reinhardt. Tsukiyomi is going to take so much damage. Skylar pushed a little bit further ahead of the Reinhardt. There's the Gravitic Flux from Davion. Combo it with the Dragons, and that is all she wrote. Eternal Big Chungus will succeed in tying this series up.
Hey, you know what? This is what we like to see from the Big Chungus squad. And it kind of reminds me of a squad back then. Eternal Beach Route Bears. I remember that grand finals and seeing that Eternal name and having the same team captain, Water, you captaining this Eternal squad. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know if this was like kind of like a thing behind the brains of Water or the workers here of SPCS and our production and everyone, but I think it's crazy to have another Eternal organization back up and running with the same captain of Water. But something that's going to be even more interesting is that next map in this series, as any change can happen.
Yep, that's right. We will have map number 3 coming up very shortly for everyone. We are going to throw it over to a quick break here, but on the other side of this, we will see where our BeaversUniverse is going to take us for that map number 3. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through that quick break. If you're just tuning in, well, it's basically the start of the series anyways. We're tied up 1-1 here. We will be heading into map number 3, and it will be BeaversUniverse that get to select where we will be heading.
Yeah, and as we get to see bans already happening, it will be a Reinhardt ban, but we don't know the other ban just yet, as Flashpoint will be our next map mode. So taking a look at the Flashpoint maps, you have Atlas, New Junk City, and Saravasa, determining up on how these team compositions have been throughout this matchup so far, or just the series alone. They might opt in for a Saravasa or Atlas. I don't see New Junk City happening here, as Saravasa will be the pick here for BeaversUniverse. So I was kind of correct. It's like, what's that one game show where you eliminate the answer, like the 50-50 call from home
Family
or something?
Feud? I don't know.
Yeah, Family. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a good selection, I think, on your part and on BeaversUniverse part as well. I think that opting to take us to Flashpoint map in general makes a whole lot of sense. You did so well on Lijiang Tower on the control map. Take us over to the Flashpoint map for map number 3. And well, Nyah, here are those bans that you mentioned coming in.
Yeah, and you get to see the Reinhardt getting taken out here. That's a big factor up in this series already. We've gotten to see a lot of shatters happen, and those shatters, they are sometimes big, sometimes massive. I mean, just absolutely huge. BeaversUniverse, though, they're banning Mei, and I think Mei also has been a crucial hero up in this series too, right? A nice couple plays with the walls, the blizzards. So going up into this one, you're going to value team compositions of Rush, maybe some dive comps. You could see Poke getting used here. There's a lot of comps that you could run as you have the 5 new heroes to play. So maybe if the teams want to randomize and go like a different route and opt in for something here in the Saravasa, they most definitely can, because they have 2 hands. They could pick whatever they want.
That's right. Freedom of choice is in their hands. You can make use of it however you please here. Will not involve Reinhardt, and it will not involve Mei. 2 pretty strong bans, like you mentioned. Of course, we've been seeing that Reinhardt come out from BeaversUniverse, but Nat was very, very impactful on that Mei on Lijiang Tower. Definitely a big component of some percentage being on the board for Control Center, despite Eternal Big Chungus not being able to pick up that sub-map. As we head into Saravasa, I think the biggest question for me here is, what is Tsukiyomi going to pivot over onto instead of that Reinhardt?
You know, that is a really good question. Maybe Tsukiyomi can play more of an aggressive tank here if you are them. But here we go, BeaversUniverse. They're going to opt up in a Ramatra with a team composition of supports, Kiri, Ana, and a Bastion Reaper. Very, very interesting from BeaversUniverse. But take a look at Eternal Big Chungus. Is that a counter that I'm seeing? The Zarya?
Definitely think that this is a much more standard composition from Eternal Big Chungus. You have the Zarya, you have the Reaper, Nat over on the Sojourn as well to really control some of the angles that are so prominent in Saravasa here. But I don't know. I think that Davion might end up having a tricky time against this Bastion.
Yeah, let's see what happens with Davion, as Davion will be working with 2 shields as the Zarya player. But take a look at that damage that Nat has already taken as an Eternal Big Chungus player. Yondo getting some damage put onto the Eternal squad as the Bastion. Is it working so far? I'm not too sure, because BeaversUniverse, they're down a player.
Yeah, and we saw Skylaro try to take a little bit of an angle there. Does end up getting shut down. The point has now opened, and Eternal Big Chungus are the ones that get their toes on the point first, are going to get the first cap as well here. BeaversUniverse still lurking around, though, and while Eternal Big Chungus want to make that go bye-bye, as it is going to be the headshot on to the Bastion here. Nice little angle from Churd to do a good chunk of damage onto that Bastion, and now you're trying to find another kill here, because BeaversUniverse are not backing down from this fight. They want to hold their ground here.
Yep, so we get to see the swap here. Emre back up onto the field and squad for BeaversUniverse. They're almost coming up on both of their support ultimates, Raine, as Eternal Big Chungus. They're working well here with their abilities. They use the cleanse up onto Nat, so if they want to pressure here, if you're BeaversUniverse, you most definitely can, because they're down the ability. But take a look at that aggression and style play that they have been playing so far. Eternal Big Chungus, wow, the damage numbers.
Oh, I don't know how Davion is still alive through this. Luna's gonna go ahead, commit that Kitsune Rush. Doesn't keep Nat alive, but, oh, no, Churd's Blossom actually gets canceled there. Was trying to combo it with that Kitsune Rush, and now BeaversUniverse are gonna be hitting back with ults of their own. Dire Raven does manage to get the beat off. It connects onto the 3 alive members of Eternal Big Chungus, but it is not gonna be enough to survive through the 4 ultimates that were thrown at them from BeaversUniverse's 99% on the board, but BeaversUniverse will be able to flip this point over.
Yeah, extremely unfortunate there that Churd got picked in the first couple seconds of his ultimate, and it was shut down immediately. So BeaversUniverse, now they're going to be running with this percentage, and no one has an ultimate just yet, but as I say it, there will be a Zarya ult online, Raine. So if Eternal wants to catch them, they most definitely can here up on a corner.
Right, well, there's the corner, but it's actually Eternal that get caught out on in. Margarine gonna find Churd through that somehow. It is going to be on space fighting Dire Raven as well. There's no supports here for the side of Eternal Big Chungus, and we're gonna chase down Davion on that. Zarya as well. BeaversUniverse winning that fight out handedly.
Yeah, Yawn, just a wonderful ultimate there on BeaversUniverse, as no ultimates online for BeaversUniverse, so it was the only ultimate that they had. Eternal Big Chungus, though, they have ways to position here, but are they even going to be able to touch this? Oh, wow, they do!
Okay, the touch comes through. Overtime has been triggered. Nat pulls out the overclock, and there's the Graviton Surge. Nat is just shooting fish in a barrel here. Davion going to be able to claim 2 in that kill feed as well. Fantastic Graviton Surge here to get this first point cap in the favor of Eternal Big Chungus.
Yeah, credit to Dire Raven to get churned there up onto the point to touch that one and capture for Eternal Big Chungus, as now the pressure is on the shoulders of BeaversUniverse in this entry of Suravasa. As we head to our secondary in Suravasa, now you kind of want to talk about up on how BeaversUniverse is going to approach this, because they could go either quick here with the slow of Ram, or if they really wanted to, they could force Skylaro's ultimate here extremely quick.
Right, first pick gonna go the way of BeaversUniverse here. Dire Raven taken out, and BeaversUniverse are really capitalizing on having this advantage here. Skylara walking forward onto the point. Eternal Big Chungus set themselves up on the point, but they are not going to be able to flip it over. BeaversUniverse with the team kill, getting percentage here on our second point.
Yep, so BeaversUniverse ready to go with 3 ultimates up online. Eternal Big Chungus, though, they have Kitsune Rush with Lunar. Churd is going to be dangerous here against Skylara. It's going to be the Battle of the Reapers, Raine. So Eternal Big Chungus, they got to be careful, as they could aggress with the Kitsune Rush to passive some time here on BeaversUniverse's side, but the cleanse is going to be so huge from both of these Kurikos here.
Right, there's the Kitsune Rush out from Lunar. It's right across the point. There is a Nano Reaper in response to it, meaning you are not going to be able to use that Kitsune Rush whatsoever. Davion is going to end up falling here. BeaversUniverse just cleaning up everybody that's left here from Eternal Big Chungus. Lunar going to toss herself off the edge there, and that is going to be the team kill coming through for BeaversUniverse.
Yep, wonderful team kill there from BeaversUniverse, as they're running with the percentage at a very good, steady rate. It's like about selling it right up into the sea, Raine, as BeaversUniverse, if they want to aggress, they most definitely can. Let's see if they do it. They're going to actually push them down. So 1-1, neutral scoreline here up on Suravasa. Ultimate still up online for both of the sides as Eternal Big Chungus. They're going to have ways here heading towards this next one, but a lot of pressure on their back, as there could be an early pick.
Oh, there's that early pick. Okay, it is going to be Churd pulling out this Death Blossom, though. Finds Nahi, but before getting shut down here, so the numbers advantage still in BeaversUniverse's favor, and Tsukiyomi using this Annihilation as well. The bubbles have been forced out, but the damage has been done. It's a tank trade coming through here. Excellent sleep coming through for BeaversUniverse as well. And just as that point is unlocking, they will be able to get themselves set up here first.
Yep, so here we go. BeaversUniverse, they're going to be able to capture this one, like how you said, right? They're going to be set up really well with the ultimates in their value. They're going to have the Emre ultimate ready to go, as well as the Kitsune Rush. BeaversUniverse, they're set and ready for this next attack that Eternal Big Chungus is going to try and provide up on their team composition. Let's see up on how this is played. Teams are positioning well here up in that slow corridor, as Eternal Big Chungus needs to be careful as the sleep. Wow, that is absolutely incredible.
Oh, fantastic sleep there, and that does mean that you're not going to have the Reaper here for the side of Eternal Big Chungus. Nat does have this overclock, doesn't end up finding anything. It's the beat and the Graviton Surge coming on. The grab connects onto 2, but BeaversUniverse able to keep them alive courtesy of that Nano, and here's that Override Protocol coming through. So much damage from this Emre. That is going to be BeaversUniverse withstanding that engagement and continuing to build percentage here on Ruins.
Hey, you know what? They might just be building a universe, right? Beavers, they've been cooking so far up in this Saravasa as you get to see the swap now of Nat going on to the Ashe. Maybe they want to value a little bit of dynamite charge. The flames to the body of BeaversUniverse could be a tad bit dangerous. Scar and Lara, though, they're ready to go with the Reaper Blossom, and that is going to be very much beneficial heading towards this next point capture. So if BeaversUniverse want to rotate and flank around a corner and kind of catch Eternal Big Chungus off guard, Raine, they most definitely can here up on this 4th sector.
All right, let's see. Might be able to make it happen. Eternal Big Chungus have gotten themselves set up on the point first here. Lunar has this Kitsune Rush ready to go whenever BeaversUniverse does go for the engagement here. Just waiting, though. Waiting until the flashpoint unlocks before you commit into the fight here. Looking for the poke damage as everybody's going to get themselves set up on the high ground, and that's where this Kitsune Rush is going to be unleashed. Taking over the high ground is Eternal Big Chungus. There's a flank coming through from Skylaro. Has this Blossom ready to go? Not though, with a sliver of HP, going to shut down that flanking Reaper here. And point not capped up just yet though, as Eternal Big Chungus, there we go, is going to be the cap coming through here on Palace. Nice bubble on it to Churd. Not quite going to make it up onto that high ground yourself. There we go. Second time's the charm here. And BeaversUniverse are getting pinched now by Eternal Big Chungus, and they are not going to be able to survive this disengage. The TP out, but the long shots coming through from the Ashe for the side of Eternal Big Chungus, and we continue holding on to Palace.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to get scary here. The momentum shifts more into the favor of Eternal Big Chungus. BeaversUniverse, they kind of gotta match this tempo here as we're down in numbers here up on this point, as that is a crazy pick onto Nat there. Eternal Big Chungus down a player. BeaversUniverse, they're ready to go with ultimates. Maybe we'll be able to get to see one popped. The TP of the Reaper is in, and that pressure is still getting applied to Eternal.
Yeah, there's the Annihilation, and looks like that might be the only ult that needed here for BeaversUniverse to take control of this point. We have some percentage here, 87% for Eternal Big Chungus, but BeaversUniverse gonna take this over now.
Yeah, and this is really good here still for Eternal Big Chungus, as, you know, once again, the momentum's still up in the favor of Chungus here, I do believe, as they have Dire Raven's ultimate. That's going to be a beneficial ultimate. That's going to be extremely crucial against that Reaper Blossom, the Kitsune Rush, the Ana Nano. So BeaversUniverse, they got to be careful up on what Dire Raven is trying to plan here on the side of Chungus, but they also got to be aware of what they're trying to plan with the game.
Well, I mean, maybe a Death Blossom on the board here. Skylaro has that Nano ready to go. It is going to be this Override Protocol coming out from Yon Space as well. There's a Kitsune Rush straight across the point here for BeaversUniverse. Eternal Big Chungus have responded with the Bob and with the Graviton Surge. There's trades coming through from both sides, and Tsukuyomi falling very low has that Nemesis Swarm to stay alive though, and unfortunately for Naki, that is going to be a focus down from a high charge Zarya here. There is a Kitsune Rush across the point courtesy of Lunar, keeping Eternal Big Chungus with a little bit more HP, a little bit more firepower here, but it might not actually be enough. Overtime is triggered here in favor of Eternal Big Chungus. All right, there's the Death Blossom from Churd, but the cooldowns are just there for BeaversUniverse. They're able to just mitigate that Death Blossom altogether, hold on, and flip this back over for them.
Yeah, and here we go, Raine. A late touch is going to be in need for Eternal Big Chungus. Are they even going to be able to get it? No, they are not going to. So BeaversUniverse, they take this one against Eternal Big Chungus. Just very well played there at the end. Having the ultimates basically get stopped
I'm impressed. I feel like this made sense, right? We're seeing the teams kind of win out their map picks here. So BeaversUniverse winning out Lijiang, winning out Saravasa, two maps that were not only their picks, but also I think played very similarly to each other here. So now this is going to raise the question of, are we going to get to see the pattern repeat itself as Eternal Big Chungus are going to be able to select map number 4?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be also interesting to tell up on what these players are going to be picking for heroes, right? And even going up onto the next map, that's also going to be a thing for those players to be trying to decide up on what the team composition is going to be. So a lot of interesting stories to still tell in this one, Raine, but it's 1-2. BeaversUniverse are up over Eternal Big Chungus after that Saravasa win. If you are Eternal here going up into this next one, what do you kind of think that they need to happen against BeaversUniverse?
Well, it definitely first is going to start with the map pick for sure. Circuit Royale went really, really well for the Eternal team. So I think that right now, where you have two map types that are left to be played, you have push and you have hybrid. So you have control over which one that we go to for this fourth map. And I think that if I were them, I would take us back over onto a hybrid. It's going to be another kind of cart style map. Yes, you are still going to have that control point to kind of cap up first. But if you want to follow up with what was going so well for you on circuit, it's really about kind of those push and pull fights. I feel like we were seeing a lot more cleaner fight resets on those cart maps compared to when we're on controller Flashpoint.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm excited for. Hybrid brings a ton of action, as if we were to go to a Midtown, you could see a lot of dive comps there up in the early stages if you are attacking, but if you're defending, you could get to see some great poke potential compositions. Hollywood, great dive matchup there. Diva, Monkey, huge picks. Eichenwald, another great map. So I would personally think if you're both of the two teams here, having this 1-2 scoreline, I think it's most definitely going to go hybrid. But if they're going push, I would have to be thinking that maybe it's more of that aggressive tone. They want to kick it into their own gears, and they want to switch the scoreline and turn it to the 2. But here we go. Like how I said it, hybrid is going to be the map pick, and you get to see it. Midtown, here we are.
Definitely feels like maybe playing more into those poke compositions that we were seeing on circuit. Midtown, of course, is going to be still very, very strong on that Sigma. And then also potentially that double flex support that we were seeing on circuit. You have the opportunity to maybe run that here on Midtown as well. So I think that this might be leading into some more of that kind of comfort picks for the side of Eternal.
Yeah, and I like it. Having those comfort picks are easier than playing a hero that you don't like, right? But I mean, did you already say something about the Sig? Is that a caster curse?
I fear that BeaversUniverse just have a really fantastic ban here. This is an excellent read on what Eternal Big Chungus were probably going to play.
Yeah, I mean, the Sigma already getting taken out here. As you said, a fantastic read indeed. Now it's Eternal Big Chungus that need to decide a beneficial ban back against that one, right? Sigma, I mean, what a hero that was up on Circuit Royale from both of the two, right? So if you are kind of deciding DPS and support, maybe you want to target support for this one.
I'm thinking the exact same thing, Nyah. I think that if you're anticipating that BeaversUniverse is going to move back over onto that brawl, ban out the speed. It's also a super, super smart ban here from Eternal Big Chungus.
Yeah, so you get to take out the Lucio. That's fantastic. Dire Raven values that hero. She's been extremely wonderful with it so far up in the series, as now you don't have Lucio. You gotta value up into something else. So I'm wondering what she's gonna be picking here. Maybe Jetpack Cat, who knows? If you want to get a little speedy there up in the air, you most definitely can. Or you could value the Juno Speed Ring. Juno could still be getting played here, as the Orbital Ray could still most definitely get played in some team comps. So Raine, heading up into this Midtown, it's going to be extremely strategic in between these two teams. But if we go to a Game 5, that competition level is going to rise up even more.
A lot of pressure on Eternal Big Chungus for sure. This is their map pick, so I'm hoping that they're going to be able to come out on top of that. But of course, that's not going to be the end of the series for them. Right now, they're just trying to fight to stay alive in this series and take us to that map number 5. And if we go to that map number 5, that's where we're going to get put back onto a push map, which you're going to play very similar to that Control and the Flashpoint in terms of kind of the tempo of things. So going to have to really kind of find their footing here on Midtown and try and propel themselves forward with momentum into a map number 5. But if you're Beavers Universe, you're now one map away from shutting down this series and starting out your season with a win.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And here we go, Raine. Midtown starts now as the timer goes down. Beavers Universe up here with a 1-up against the Eternal Big Chungus, as I'm kind of wondering what they're going to be picking. Like how we said, poke team compositions are going to be huge. As I like this. They're going to be working with Ram slows. This is going to benefit their team comps, but something that's interesting to me is Dire Raven up on Mercy. Jared bringing out the Pharah. Is this Overwatch 1, people? Wait, are they bringing the old classic back with a newer comp style with the Ram and Vav? I'm kind of valuing this.
This is a lot of poke damage for sure, and I think that that is exactly what you want on Midtown, especially for this point number 1, where it's a pretty hard choke point to walk into for the attacking team. So if you have a damage boosted Pharah that's raining down rockets on you, and you can even opt to go and damage boost Nat on this Ashe, who has been hitting so many shots, so many dynamites, I think that this is a great look for Eternal Big Chungus. But Beavers Universe coming out with something a little spicy themselves too, Nyah.
Yeah, and let's see what happens here with Beavers Universe. The Skylaro is going to benefit with that Sim TP. They're going to possibly try and TP into the back line of Eternal Big Chungus to get a valuable pick on Eternal Big Chungus. But let's see up on how they play this. The Beavers Universe.
Yeah, they're set up in this fire hall here, so this is a good start to at least get through a lot of that poke damage that we were mentioning that you're going to get kind of slammed with in the choke point here. So now you need to think about the next step here if you are Beavers Universe. It is going to be a TP on the side, trying to actually push on a Nat on this high ground, but not quite going to actually follow through on it. It is going to be Tsukiyomi dropping down onto the point here on this Ramatra. The support set up in the high ground, but it's a big nade from Nat that's actually going to force them to just kind of back up a little bit. Not able to get a sight line onto their tank. Now Skylaro is going to end up falling, taking out the Symmetra first in the fight. So important here for Eternal Big Chungus. You do not allow her to build up that charge, but it's Tsukiyomi knocking back with 2. Dire Raven somehow managing to find the res onto Lunar, but she does immediately get punished for it, and that is looking like a first point cap here for Beavers Universe.
Yeah, the Tsukiyomi cooking here for Beavers Universe. The slows have been valuing for Universe, as the point capture is going to be up into the favor of Beavers, as Eternal Big Chungus might just have to take a reset here, as you're going to now have Beavers Universe with a lot of time to value against Eternal Big Chungus. I like the poke type comp. Is it going to value much though against what Beavers Universe is running? They have a sight liner, and they also have someone to get behind the force abilities.
That's right. Now you're set up on this high ground. It's going to be, again, an opportunity to do some poke damage here. Turret does have this barrage built up and ready to go. Just need to find an opening for it here. Cart rounding this first corner. Beavers Universe are looking to rotate onto the high ground, put a little bit of pressure onto this. Kitsune Rush gonna help you take that, but it's gonna be a barrage in response. Your whole chunk of damage done out. You are gonna be able to find that elimination onto Tsukiyomi as well. The Kitsune Rush not quite enough to keep the tank alive through a whole barrage of missiles with Mercy damage boost.
Yeah, wild way to cure the team there. Wonderful usage from Dire Raven. Eternal Big Chungus still ready to go with ultimates online. Beavers Universe down here in numbers of ultimates right now. Eternal Big Chungus though, here we go. They're down a player, Skylaro with the pressure. Beavers Universe, it's a 5v4 scenario. The Emery ultimate is putting in pressure as Skylaro is still cooking Raine.
Oh my gosh, yeah, is going to be able to find Lunar here. No, with that Mercy Pocket, is going to take down Davion. And now Skylaro actually taking down Davion, as the Bob has been committed here from Nat, but I think the contest is happening on the card, so you're at least buying a little bit of time here for the rest of your team to get back in. The pistol's out, but it's not much against a giant robot.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that's a very decisive decision here from Nat. Oh, wait! I'm getting to see a Zenyatta now up on Eternal Big Chungus, and that is something that we got to see on Circuit Royale Raine. So you're going to have Discord value now here. You also have the Immortality, but Dire Raven getting taken out here immediately is a bad start for Eternal. It's a 5v3, and BeaversUniverse, you are very much controlling them.
Yeah, this is going to be the second point capped up here for BeaversUniverse, keeping this payload moving forward, looking for a stagger kill as well. Looter has the lamp, has the jump to get out, but is she going to be able to get away just in time with that Harmony, or needs to find your way through this window? Unfortunately, Looter is just not out of harm's way, and that's a great stagger here for BeaversUniverse. They're feeling good about that one.
Yeah, BeaversUniverse ready to go. They're going to be most probably putting this orbital ray in first here. A speed ring could be detrimental into the backline of Eternal Big Chungus to force that window, or maybe that Ramattra ultimate. But they got to be careful, right? As Dire Raven once again is dead. I don't think the healing composition's working.
Yeah, not quite enough here between the Zen and the Bap, maybe, as the Amplification Matrix has been committed here from Lunar, who's on just a sliver of HP, doesn't have that other support to get topped up here. Annihilation is ready to go for Davion if it is needed, but you don't have your supports with you just yet, and Space is just tearing up your teammates here as BeaversUniverse are going to momentarily be stopped here. Davion has found his way over onto the corner here. Looking like that Kitsune Rush committed here. BeaversUniverse trying to find some opening into this fight. The Transcendence from Dire Raven is going to shut that door closed for BeaversUniverse, at least momentarily here as the headshot comes through. Skylaro taking down Dire Raven. I mean, this is the time to start walking forward now if you're BeaversUniverse. You see the Nemesis form forced out from Davion is going to end up falling. A nice shot onto Lunar. Skylaro doing a 180. Trying to keep Nat in check on this Ashe, as well as there's just kind of staggers that are coming onto the point now, Nyah.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate that the supports have been getting focused here as much, but BeaversUniverse, the control, the speed, the tempo that they have been putting over Eternal Big Chungus here in this Midtown start, I mean, that attack was phenomenal, Raine. And I'm kind of wondering what the stat sheet is putting up here for both of these two teams, right? As we get to see it, oh yeah, a little. The eliminations are not up into the favor of Eternal.
This is a disparity for sure. Unfortunately, Eternal has just been on the back foot pretty much the entire time through Midtown. There was like a small moment of stabilization kind of on the second point where you got control of that high ground, but otherwise it really did just feel like BeaversUniverse were just rolling forward through the entire point. I mean, more than 2 minutes in the time bank to complete Midtown is very impressive.
Yeah, something to highlight though is Dire Raven dying there, a couple battles in between, dying first. That is scary. Losing a support that early in a battle engage and being down a player against a 4v5 scenario, that's never a good sign. So if they could fix that mistake heading up into this next push, I think that's going to be very much good for them. But BeaversUniverse, you take a look at their comp, they're ready to go. They got the Juno, the Kiriko, the Ram, the Soj, the Emre. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to tell. But here we go, Eternal Big Chungus on the attack.
Right, gonna pull out the Mei as well. Churd over on the Mei, not over on the Reaper here. So a little bit of swap up in the roles here since we saw on Lijiang. Waiting for the engagement here. It's a lot of poke damage from BeaversUniverse though between this Emre and this Sojourn. There's the wall opening things up here. That's going to allow Eternal Big Chungus to walk through, and you're going to find that opening pick as well. Skylaro getting caught out on the angle there. The Eternal Big Chungus just barreling forward here, looking to find another target to try and wall off with this Mei. Lunar does end up taking down Tsukiyomi as well, so BeaversUniverse are not going to be able to come back into this, and that is going to be the checkpoint collected here for Eternal Big Chungus.
Yeah, lovely aggression-style gameplay that Eternal Big Chungus put onto the line of players of BeaversUniverse, as you get to see the Ana now swapped in for BeaversUniverse, and now they're working with the Juno Ana in the comp, so that might slow them down a tad bit, but Eternal Big Chungus still putting in numbers with time.
BeaversUniverse are set up close here. Everybody got that forward spawn, or has at least got themselves set up on this high ground here. Eternal Big Chungus gonna need to close some distance with this May Reaper composition if they want to find the value that they're looking for, and it's really hard to do that against this Emre Sojourn without having a bunch of cooldowns forced out. So it is a rotation over on to the hallway here. Nat trying to get herself set up. She's gonna Wraith form in. Very, very brave. Is finally connected with her team here. Excellent Maywall to split off the disengage, but the damage is coming through here for BeaversUniverse. Now he is taking a little nap over on the side here, so the Juno not able to keep the tank alive here. Another sleep dart coming through as Davion's gonna be the one to fall this time. Oh, Lunar shutting down that Emre ultimate here. Massive job from the Ana on the side of Eternal Big Chungus, as this high ground has not been taken control of just yet. It is still BeaversUniverse in control here. Swap over here. Another fantastic Maywall, and it is going to be this Orbital Ray as well. The Annihilation in response, though, means that it's not going to be used as much as Eternal Big Chungus would really, really want to. Excellent anti-nade, and that is finally going to be the nail in the coffin here for Tsukiyomi, as BeaversUniverse are forced to back out.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible as Eternal Big Chungus, they follow up onto the pick there, Churd up onto Yawn, and now they have BeaversUniverse switching onto the Kiriko. It's a Kiri on a comp, and I mean, the Kiriko just gets taken out immediately, right? So, oh, look at Nat go. That's fantastic, Raine. So that's going to be putting even better numbers in 5 minutes up on the time bank for Eternal Big Chungus.
Oh my goodness, and very economical as well, Nyah. I mean, look at the ultimates that Eternal Big Chungus has to work with here. Tsukiyomi's gonna swap over onto the Zarya too, so this is big for Eternal Big Chungus.
I 100% agree. They got the 3 ultimates ready to go. The Blizz could be a game changer, but as I say, it's taken out immediately, but they still have it there. But they need to back up here, and a reset is going to be the one answer that is going to be happening for them. So, as we get to see, though, we get to see the Ashe back up online, and BeaversUniverse, they also got some ultimates. Ana.
Alright, let's see what they're going to opt for here. Skylaro does have a nice far angle here, as it is going to be a Yon space up on this high ground with that Pharah as well. That Barrage is ready to go, maybe just looking for it here. The wall is going to split off Tsukiyomi briefly. The Barrage comes through, does end up being a trade though. Nat going to find Tsukiyomi though. The Nano has gone over onto Davion, and that's going to be the Rabacho just absolutely running through Skylaro here. Eternal Big Chungus looking to make some more progress on this payload.
Yeah, I like what Davion has been doing, you know, holding this Ramatra Annihilation for just the correct moment. Dire Raven could speed this one in, and it could be absolutely deadly. Raine are able to get the pick up onto the enemy Ana of BeaversUniverse. They're taking damage here on the Zarya. Look at Davion go, just pushing them back even more, Raine. BeaversUniverse, you aren't going to be able to do anything. You are back up into the spawn. Sit down.
Oh, and a little bit more time here for Eternal Big Chungus to work with as well. About a minute here, so that is pretty good to have if you're going into these overtime rounds. At least you'll have a little bit more time to kind of build up to those ultimates.
No way. Are you seeing something that's like familiar here? Wait, I can't see it because of the stats. But anyways, let's take a look at the stats. Numbers are really looking good here from both of the two teams. Eternal Big Chungus, they've been putting up some great stat lines with the damage, as well as the healing. Give credit to Dire Raven. She's been doing absolutely excellent. BeaversUniverse, though, a little bit of a struggle there towards the end on what Eternal Big Chungus has been putting in with the pressure onto their line, but 2:57 against 2 minutes. Let's take a look back at Circuit Royale. That was a minute 57 in 1 minute. So the extra 57 seconds, that's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. So Eternal Big Chungus is kind of matching that one, but BeaversUniverse opting in for Skylaro here as a Sojourn or an Ashe, as we just got to see there. But I think hit scan efficiency is definitely going to be the big game changer here for BeaversUniverse. They just need to be landing those shots here, as it is a difference maker in the time right now. But here we go. They need to defend the objective here if you are Eternal Big Chungus. Different compositions up on both of the two sides with the sports and DPS.
Okay, it is going to be the Mei wall here coming out from Churd. A lot of damage being done to the DPS of BeaversUniverse already. Need to try and find a way to get in through this choke point without getting split by that Mei wall. Headshots coming through Churd with the alt fire looking for it. It's going to be the opening for the side of BeaversUniverse, though, despite having very low HP. It is not that ends up falling. Anti-nade connects onto 2 here, and yeah, the follow-up is there. You can see all those assists on Luna's kill there in the feed. And now, without a tank, it's going to be very hard for BeaversUniverse to continue this push forward. Davion does need to get healed up, though. The Ramattra for the side of Eternal Big Chunk is going to need to be kind of the standing force here for them. Backing up towards this point, though. A lot of space here for BeaversUniverse to actually just kind of walk into the point as we have a little scuffle happening over on the side here. Churd nearly built up to this Blizzard. It is the TP out Blizzard. Now ready to go. Davion has found another limb here for the side of Eternal Big Chungus, and there's not a whole lot of time left on the clock. BeaversUniverse need to be very careful about how they approach this.
Yeah, especially as Nat takes down Sky Lauro. It's a 5v4 scenario. If Eternal Big Chungus want to benefit this is your moment now. But take a look at that. Yawn trades back. It's a 4v4. Who is going to be able to pop that ultimate first? Churd is there. BeaversUniverse, they got to be playing careful here because there's still a lot of pressure. Oh, wow, Raine, this is absolutely crazy. Eternal Big Chungus, I think they're going to have the numbers over this one as they still have that Annihil. But the Annihil's not going to be able to get popped because Dire Raven gets the orbital ray. Whoa, that's crazy. I think BeaversUniverse, no, they're gonna get shut down.
Not managing to find the 2 limbs at the end there. No overtime gonna be triggered. That means that BeaversUniverse right now are playing for a draw.
Yeah, a draw would be absolutely crazy to have for a introductory rookie tier SPCS Series 4 with these two teams, as Eternal Big Chungus, just a wonderful hold there against Beavers University. Now kind of questions me. You have Beavers University that's struggled on their defense in that third sector of Midtown. I don't think it's going to happen here. I think you are kind of correct. Well, you know what? I'm going to totally agree with you. I think a draw is most doable here. Even though if they have that extra 57 seconds, you take a look at back on how both of their attack phases went and how both of their defenses went up on first point. BeaversUniverse, I think they're going to value this, especially with the composition that they're rolling out up on. You got Yawn up on the Mei, which is going to benefit with the Mei walls, and the Blaze is going to slow them down if they get caught up in it. But Sky and Lauro, if you're able to position up in the back, kind of TP, get some damage up in, TP back, get back with your team, get healed up, that's going to be a lot of things that Eternal Big Chungus is going to have to look at. But support composition looking good. I like the Zarya. Eternal Big Chungus, though, they got the Ramattra slow. The Annihil is a possibility. Blizzard, not with the TP. That's going to be dangerous.
Let's see, where is Eternal Big Chungus gonna look to push with this TP? We saw the TP into the firehouse last time. Yes, ooh, the wall coming through. That actually was from Church just to try and protect this TP from going through. But this is it. The TP has come through. You get set up. But Dire Raven, ooh, I think she actually missed that. Yeah, the TP got destroyed here, and so did Lunar. So you don't actually have either of your supports now if you're Eternal Big Chungus. So oh, you've got yourself set up in that firehouse. Yeah, it's going to be the TP out and a reset here for them.
Yep, definitely most needed here for Eternal Big Chungus, as now you have only 2 minutes left of your time. Your seconds are slowly dwindling down. BeaversUniverse, though, this is a good little setup position here for them, Raine, as Eternal Big Chungus, now they're in the spot of, oh, wow, that is bad. Getting a Mei wall there and freezing the Ram. Can they get this pick?
Oh, Davion, the Nemesis form and the block is keeping him alive right now, and it's just enough to be able to stabilize and go in again here. It is going to be a long angle being taken by Nat. Meanwhile, though, a lot of frontline pressure as Davion once again has this Nemesis form kind of forced out here. This is going to be a BeaversUniverse kind of getting themselves set up around this point, anticipating where Eternal Big Chungus are pushing. The Suzu has come out for a BeaversUniverse. Anti-Nade gonna connect on to the Reaper here, but Tsukiyomi very charged up on this Zarya and just beaming down these members of Eternal Big Chungus. BeaversUniverse are really looking to get this draw in.
Yeah, Tsukiyomi, that Zarya Graviton Surge is going to be one ultimate that could change a fight like that. Like a snap of a finger. BeaversUniverse, they're ready to go with the Kitsune Rush. Yawn trying to build up the Blizzard. That's also another ultimate that could change fights. But Eternal Big Chungus, the last 50 seconds are up on your hands.
Ooh, it's an early fight here for BeaversUniverse. If the Kitsune Rush in, the Anti-Nade connects. Lunar does end up following. The Nano now gone. The Blizzard now gone for the side of Eternal Big Chungus. And that is a very quick fight win here for BeaversUniverse, meaning Eternal Big Chungus just have one more shot to try and get a tick on the board.
Yeah, and just one little ultimate there used, the Kitsune Rush. BeaversUniverse, though, still set up here really good with ultimates. Take a look at that. The Reaper could be a huge problem if this lands. Very good. The Zarya grab.
Oh yeah, the grab onto 3. The May Blizzard does come out in response, but Churd already fallen here, and with overtime just about to trigger and no bodies left alive. That is going to be BeaversUniverse pulling out the draw here on Midtown. So we will be heading to a map number 5. It's like Midtown never even happened.
Yeah, you know what? Midtown was kind of the middle of this series. And BeaversUniverse, they are able to have this draw happen for themselves. Very still close battle in between the two teams. We got to see both the attacks and defenses happen very well from both of them here. So with this draw, it's going to be interesting to tell the rest of this story throughout the series. But you know what this means? More Nyah and Raine for this SPCS Series 4 Rookie Tier broadcast. So you still got these two teams right ahead of us. I'm so excited to see what happens here for this next map, because I do believe we will be heading to a push map.
Yep, that's right. It's the last mode that has not been played. So it is still going to be a match point here for BeaversUniverse as we head over to the push map. Now, I believe in the case of a draw that we will have Eternal Big Chungus picking the map again, I think. Maybe, since they picked out the hybrid map here. So, of course, all 4 of those push maps are going to be on the table here. So it really does just come down to kind of comfortability for these teams, because this is, the last mode that you have. This is all you have to work with.
You know, I've always thought, is a draw even possible up on push maps? Like, is that a thing if no one, like, touches the push bot in the middle there? I've always wondered that, but that's something that I would have to solve for myself. But Coliseum, Esperanza, New Queen Street, and Runasapi, I could see these teams leaning for a Runasapi or Coliseum. Maybe more of Coliseum, because that's a map that has gotten changes with the new update, and maybe that is something that might change up in this series here for one of the teams. So if you're down a point here, if you're Eternal, you could go for that Coliseum and run a nice dive composition or a rush comp.
Ooh, that's right. Now, we haven't really gotten to see a whole lot of dive from either of these teams. Definitely do tend to be opting towards kind of the Ramatra, the Zarya, a little bit more of that rush style. But I do definitely think that rush could be played, on any of these maps. So definitely will kind of come down to what we're going to see for the hero bans that come through. Of course, you can see them on the bottom of your screen. No team is going to be able to ban out a hero that they have already banned out this series. And we were kind of talking on map number 1 that, the Domina ban and the Vendetta ban felt like really heavy hitting bans here. Those are 2 heroes that are getting a lot of playtime, but we haven't actually seen either of them here in our match. So it does make me think that, these more recent bans that we were seeing between the Lucio and the Reinhardt, it's definitely more targeted to specifically what these teams are playing, not what the general meta is.
Yeah, it's going to be such an exciting one to see, as the bans are going to be those picks that are going to determine this next map. So here we go, Esperanza, Little Portugal. Yeah, the little Portugal flag there. That's nice. I just noticed that. But Esperanza, here we go. The Team Pokemon Snorlax team cooking up here, as they are in favor here. But the thing that's going to be even more interesting are those bans, right? So it's been a ban battle so far in this series, Raine, and I think they're now going to look at who's the better hero on each of these teams. And you get to see Reaper taken out. That was a big hero in Midtown, right? As well as the Ram. So kind of that Brawl style getting taken out. They're going to have to maybe invest in a dive comp or a rush.
I agree. I do think that out of all of the kind of push maps that are available in the pool, I do feel like Esperanza has a little bit more chance to be a dive map compared to some of the other ones here. But I also just have this gut feeling that with BeaversUniverse having the Ram band out and having Lucio still in play, that we might just go back over onto the Reinhardt. It definitely could be an option here. Not a standard comp by any means, but Reinhardt in general, not really seeing a whole lot of playtime. So I think that if you're a team that's comfortable on the Reinhardt, you probably will try to play him on most maps that you can.
Yeah, it's kind of like the pre-season boot camp matchup of where I think it was Crazy Raccoons taking on Falcons in an Esperanza match debut. There was a Reinhardt, and it didn't go the way there up on Esperanza. So hopefully that's not the case if Raine is getting played here for one of the two teams. But BeaversUniverse, they can most definitely pick the Reinhardt if they most want to. But here we go, Raine. 20 seconds until this Esperanza of Portugal kicks off, and we still have such a wonderful series ahead of us. As if you're Eternal Big Chungus, you need the points here to continue and stride in this series to stay alive.
All right, this is it. Map number 5, match point for BeaversUniverse. Eternal Big Chungus, though, I mean, they are looking to drag this out all the way, get a win here, force a map number 6. It's a tall order for sure, and, well, you've been kind of hinting at a potential dive comp all night long, and it looks like Davion might finally be on board with that.
Yeah, Raine, this is a classic dive composition. You got the Sombra, the Tracer, the Monkey, the Kiriko, and the Lucio. This is going to be good for Eternal Big Chungus, as you're going to have someone that is going to be able to wrap around, get some damage, and as well, you're going to have that Sombra to hack and invest on enemies with. So BeaversUniverse, you have this Vendetta in play, the Emre, you also got the Zarya, the Kiriko, but the Kiriko is getting taken some damage there. You could get a little deadly though. You got to be extremely careful with your support line.
Ooh, yep, and here's one of those support lines. We did have that Sleep Dart come out early. The hack goes out, connects onto Jan's face, but the follow-up timing not quite there for Davion to get on board. There we go. There's the damage coming through, as that is the backline of BeaversUniverse, just absolutely destroyed at the very beginning of the fight.
Yeah, and the Sombra is going to invest on the Kiriko to use the cleanse as much as possible on BeaversUniverse, right? So if Eternal Big Chungus every single fight hacks onto an enemy, and if BeaversUniverse follows up with a cleanse, that's going to be a bad value investment for BeaversUniverse. But as we get to talk about it, Lucio is on the field and ready to go. I'm seeing a Raine. Here we go, people.
All right, BeaversUniverse swapping over to a comfort pick here. Might be a little bit tricky, right? There's a whole lot of mobility on the side of Eternal Big Chungus, but if you can get one of those cooldowns kind of forced out, you use this rush composition to just walk on over to them. It is going to be, a recontest coming through just before that checkpoint is picked up, and now we have Reinhardt in full play here, swinging on the Winston. Davion is going to end up falling there, and without your Winston in the fight, that's a big source of HP here for Eternal Big Chungus. Now gone. You do have Turd kind of lurking here on the Tracer, but just a little bit of pepper damage before backing up.
Yeah, and I think the Reinhardt is going to be an excellent play here for BeaversUniverse. No ultimates up online yet by both of the two teams, but great way to position here if you are BeaversUniverse. Now pulling this push bot forward more, as only 2 minutes have been played in this Esperanza, but you gotta worry about what Churd could do, right? Especially Nat. Nat could go wrap around and hack player of your team, and stuff could get very, very crucial as we get to see it here.
All right, you spoke of the hack. There's one that comes through. Not quite any limbs coming off of that. The virus does connect here.
Ooh, nice read.
Oh, Skylaro with the cast is going to be able to find both DPS actually from the side of Eternal Big Chungus here. And this looks like it is going to be a stabilization here for BeaversUniverse as they are going to win the fight and pick up the checkpoint as well.
Yep, BeaversUniverse now in the lead here with Meter Ridge here. As Yon Space able to follow up onto Lunar, so no Kiriko left here for Eternal Big Chungus, but as a quick reset happens, both Reinhardts are up on to the field, Raine. So you get to see a Reinhardt with a Shatter and a Reinhardt without a Shatter. And the Shatter comes out, does it hit much?
Ooh, okay, it does. It does find the connection there, and a whole lot of damage to follow up from BeaversUniverse as well. Yan Space going very hard with that ultimate. Impressive stuff as they keep rolling forward.
You know, this is kind of looking a tad bit deadly, Raine. If BeaversUniverse gets this, it ends the series, right? If they push it all the way. So, Eternal Big Chungus kind of getting backed up against the wall. The cleanse is getting used here if you are Lunar. The Kiriko Rush getting played here. Nat needs heals immediately. The whole entire rest of the half and side team of Eternal needs heals. And BeaversUniverse, they're just capitalizing up on it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic beat from Margarine to keep everybody from BeaversUniverse alive and healthy through that Kitsune Rush from Lunar. And now we're getting very, very close to the end of this. Even some stagger kills coming through. Skylaro finding out Churd there. Dire Raven has the beat. She's going to have to be the one that contests for the team. The boop to deny the touch. What a way to end the series as BeaversUniverse close this out 3-2-1.
So unfortunate there. If it wasn't for the boop, there still would have been time to play on the Esperanza. But BeaversUniverse, what a series from you. But as well, what a series from Eternal Big Chungus. To have these two teams play up on day one of the rookie tier, it was absolutely phenomenal to be casting over them. But congratulations to all of the 9 players on BeaversUniverse.
Yeah, really impressed. Like we mentioned at the start, these are newcomers into SPCS, but I have a small suspicion, Nyah, that these players definitely have some synergy building outside of SPCS, and they're just making their debut here in this rookie division, because despite, you know, having all of these players on the roster playing that same 5 core, really did work out well for this team.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Raine. BeaversUniverse, they capitalized up on every single mistake that happened there against Eternal, and it was just wonderful playstyle and performance play from them. And I'm really excited to see up on how Eternal kind of improves after this loss, as this is a great VOD to look back at and say, hey, this is a mistake that we made against BeaversUniverse. But once again, there was so much great moments in between this matchup. You had ultimates that were getting invested at sometimes that didn't need to get invested, but you also had moments that did need to happen, right? So both great factors from both of the two teams played extremely well. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens here, as it's still only week 1. You're going to have the intermediate division coming up here next in the next couple days, and same with advanced division. So I'm kind of familiar with those two, but I'm glad to share this rookie division broadcast with you, Raine.
Me too, and I'm also excited to share our rookie MVP of the match. It is going to be going over to BeaversUniverse. Of course, it's going to be Margarine, the MVP here. I mean, we got to see the nice little boop at the very end there, right? Just to finish everything off. But Margarine was super solid throughout this entire series, even when we saw them over on the Zenyatta on Circuit Royale. So many opening picks, right? So definitely well-deserved for this player.
Yeah, I was really impressed upon what the Zenyatta play had to match against what Dire Raven's play was. Midtown Dire Raven wasn't as much of a factor with the Zenyatta, but taking a look back at the Circuit Royale, that was a huge investment there from, the Beavers, right? Having that Zenyatta up into their roster. But yeah, once again, just a great showing there from all the players on BeaversUniverse. I'm super excited to see what happens here in the next upcoming weeks, as we might have some mid-season patches upcoming. Who knows, though, as the game has been changing in a lot of different ways, especially with the rewards not working in the last couple days.
That's right. Now, we do, like Nyah mentioned, there is lots more SPCS action happening throughout this week. So on Wednesday, we will have Stevens Gray versus Error 409 conflict. And then on Thursday, it'll be Bomb Pop Ballers Meltdown versus Ray OW. So still some advanced and some intermediate matches to be had here. But thank you so much to everybody that showed up to support the rookie division, the first broadcast and the first streamed match of the season. So we look forward to many more. Thank you so much to Nyah for joining me here on the broadcast. And thank you so much to our production crew as well behind the scenes today. We had Layla, sorry, I'm reading her Discord. We had Layla doing the prod, and we had VGL Bobcat and Ash on OBS. So thank you so much to them. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday.